Hey, church family, great to see you again, and welcome to another Daily Devo. And today we're going to talk about Jesus healing the leper. Now, it's key to note that this story is told across three of the four Gospels. Matthew, Mark, and Luke all tell this story. And what's even more interesting is that unlike many stories that the Gospels all tell, this one's told pretty much the same throughout all three Gospels. So when Jesus heals the leper, he's moving through town and a leper approaches him. And the leper says, "Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean." And reaching out his hand, Jesus touches him and he says, "I am willing." And it cleans the leper of his leprosy. And the great thing about that is Jesus says, "Don't tell anyone, but go and show yourself to the priest and offer the gift that Moses commanded as a testimony." So Jesus here has not only cleansed that leper in his miracles, but also he's relating it back to the old religious customs and rules and laws that there is a sacrifice made here. That's why he wants him to go see the priest. And this sacrifice goes all the way back to Leviticus, where Moses, in Leviticus, it explains that how we are cleansed, or a leper is cleansed. And in that, there's all kinds of things. There's two clean birds, there's cedar wood, scarlet, hyssop, and all these things. But there's also the shaving of all the hair on your body, to include your eyebrows and hair and everything. And it's also, you got to be separated from the public, from anyone else, for 7 days. So notice there's compassion here. Jesus has compassion over this leper and he cleanses him. But he also does it in a way that separates Jesus' miracles from the old laws. But he wants the leper to go back and go to the priest and consider those old laws. Even though he's already cleansed, he's going to go back and do those things. What's great here is that Jesus gives the leper dignity. And what he does is he cleanses him, because lepers were outcast. If you had leprosy, you were an outcast and you couldn't be around people. You couldn't be around the town. You couldn't go anywhere. People were literally afraid of you. They would see you coming and they would go the other way. So Jesus restores dignity, just like he does in us. He does it with this leper. And by touching the leper, Jesus shows his purity, that he can make anything unclean clean again just by touching him. Not by the old laws and all the sacrifices, but just by touching him. And then there's the power of faith. See, the leper had faith. He came to Jesus and says, "I know you can heal me." So there's faith involved here, and that's one of the parts that we need to take notice of, to know that we need to have the faith that Jesus can heal us, that Jesus can change us, that Jesus can make a difference in our lives where no one else, nothing else can. And then there's obedience. There's the obedience of God's law, because Jesus just doesn't heal him. He says, go back, be obedient, go to the priest, and do the things that were talked about back in Leviticus. Now, when we talk about this, there's the nature of sin, because many people, all people really back then, thought leprosy came upon people because of some sin they had committed. When Jesus touches this leper and cleanses him, it shows that Jesus is the way for our salvation, for cleanliness, for being Christ-like. So when we let God, when we let Jesus enter our lives, enter our hearts, it changes us. It cleanses us just like he did the leper. And I think it's important that when we read this story in three different Gospels, that it's important for us to realize, think about the leper as sin, and that Jesus cleanses that sin just by the touch. And when Jesus is accepted into our hearts, that's when we will be cleansed of all sins, and we can follow him, and we can be more Christ-like. It requires faith. It requires trust. It requires all the things that leper had in that moment to go to Jesus and say, Jesus, can you help me? Can you cleanse me? I know you can. Will you? And without fail, Jesus always says, yes. Yes, I will cleanse you. I will help you. Church family, I hope this is a great lesson. I hope you can use it in your daily lives. And I look forward to seeing you again on another Daily Devo.